Without further ado, Peggy 16.
Peggy 16.
Peggy 16. Peggy 16.
Mikula the Kind spoke of the beginning. The seduction and the betrayal. An affair from which gold arose. And so too was Shadow born.
Ooh.
What followed was a war unseen.
Okay, I'll watch it all the way through first.
One that could never be put to song.
Look at all those partisans!
A purge without grace or honor. The tyranny of Mesmer's flame. And so kindly Mikula would abandon everything. His golden flesh, his blinding strength, even his fate. But we are not deterred.
This music's incredible!
We choose to follow. Will you walk with us?
What are we, like 30 days away?
An affair from which gold arose. And so too was Shadow born.
All right. Everybody put on your aluminum foil hats. Okay? Everybody put on your aluminum foil hats. This is just me spitballing. Okay? It is a great shot. This is just me spitballing. All right? This is just fun. It's just for fun, okay? We know that there was like a snake deity, and we know that the snake deity betrayed the Golden Order. All right? But who wrote history in the lands between? That snake didn't. What if America and this snake deity, because that's straight up like some blasphemous, I'm putting quotes around what we would consider blasphemous. That's Rykard's arena, you know? Just pillars of human corpses. What if America betrayed the snake? What if there was some sort of like agreement or relationship between America and this snake deity? And Yeah. So we have like this snake deity and Marika having a child, and that's Messemer. And then we have Marika betraying snake deity and using whatever weird golden threads lived inside of it to do stuff. So Marika fucked a snake? Yes. You got to remember, this is like, you know, we're in old-timey myth, all right? Like Zeus came down and you know, bumped into a cow and was like, "Wow, you're so beautiful." And Thunder fucked a cow, and that's how you know, Mucules was born or whatever. I don't know how else to interpret this than Marika. It looks like she's
Mikula
like forming the fucking Elden Ring
of the beginning,
or at the very least, a rune arc. Ah, yeah, the rune arc. The rune arc is at the bottom of the Elden Ring. And, ooh, hang on. Let's look up the item description for a rune arc. A shard of the shattered Elden Ring grants the blessing of an equipped Great Rune upon use. Even if no Great Rune is equipped, it will slightly increase maximum HP upon use. It is said that the lower arch of the Elden Ring receives its bounty, and this is a shard of one such arch. Okay. So the Elden Ring existed, right? And then Marika created this thing. And this thing is at the bottom. And this thing receives the Elden Ring's bounty. But you can't access the Elden Ring without this. So she's essentially like, okay, she's essentially created a lock that also drains, or not drains, but like takes. Like how we use Marika's body to mend the Elden Ring with new runes that Dung Eater makes, or that Fia makes, or that Gold Mask makes. Like we find, you know, they craft them and create them, and then we have to take them and we have to attach them to the Elden Ring. Maybe this is what maybe this was like Marika's final boss, and this is what she did. And she added the Great Rune, the rune arc. You see the two hands operating the head? But notice how its eyes still glow, and notice how they glow similar to the color of the ancestral tree spirit, an animal that doesn't ever really die, right? Or at the very least, like, it's able to resurrect itself. It's able to bring itself back. Like there's some weird life force thing going on there. I read some interview. I think it was like a Chinese interview with Miyazaki. So obviously, like, I'm just relying on Google's auto translate, so it's not going to be like one for one. But they definitely did mention Saint Trina and Mikola, and Miyazaki did say that would be something that they touched on in the DLC. So that's cool. There are a lot of Empyreans and demigods who have a sort of almost like a sort of like patron that they follow, or that has walked with them or taught them. Like Ronnie has the ice witch. And Millennia had the blue swordsman. And then and you know, like, there's this connection with Mikola and Saint Trina. The voice actor in the gameplay trailer talks about Mikola in a negative light, whereas this voice actor is talking very kindly of him. Yeah. I need to rewatch the first trailer. Radon and Leonard. No, but Radon did have a mentor in one of the Outer Space Rockmen. I want to rewatch this trailer now, chat.
Pure and radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men. There is nothing more terrifying.
You know what? I think this is making this trailer make a little more sense. That voice that we hear in the trailer we just watched, I think that's the voice of the knight with the Banished Knight headpiece kind of on. They're wearing a helmet that looks like a combination of a Carrion Knight helmet and a Banished Knight helmet. Banished Knight helmet makes the most sense because the Banished Knights were actively looking for Mikola. As per Castle Soul, right? So that voice is in this trailer, and I thought that it was maybe Nefeli, but now we know it's not Nefeli. It's that. Well, I think it's that knight with the headpiece. So this voice probably also one of those NPCs that we will encounter. Maybe Karate Man or Golem Knight or whoever.
In that forsaken place, blood must spill. Blood of your fellows. The Erdtree faithful.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of a war.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
I presume you, too, are keen to know just what kind Mikola is doing here.
those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Vesma's flame.
Come now, touch the withered arm, and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Man, I cannot begin. For those of you who have never like played a From Software game like on release as it's happening in real time, if you've never played a From Software DLC as it releases, like as it's happening in real time, it is so much fun to be online playing at the same time as everybody else, you know. Oh, it's such a fucking it's like a lot of games come out and we're all playing the game, right? Like Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 comes out and a bunch of people are playing Final Fantasy 16. And okay, we're all talking about how we're playing Final Fantasy 16 or whatever game, right? But with Elden Ring and Dark Souls and all that stuff, it's different because not only are we talking about it, but like our characters can get together, you know what I mean? With the co-op and the messages and the invasions. It's like, it's almost like going to see a movie, right? With a group of friends, and like you come out of the theater and you're like, that was fucking awesome. Yeah. And you know, you're there in real time, you know? Ugh, it's so good. It's so fucking good.
Air from which gold arose. And so too was Shadow born.
Is that huge pile of bodies the Crucible? I think what we're looking at is where Snake Deity lives. You know how like Rykard's cavern looks like this, right? And then whatever is happening, this looks like where you fight the Elden Beast. This is what it looks like, you know what I mean? Where you fight, like it looks like water and it's all gold and
An affair from which gold arose. And so too was Shadow born.
So an alternate reality where the serpent killed the Elden Beast? No, I think the serpent existed before the Elden Beast. Like the Elden Beast came to Earth like every other outer god. Like it crash landed in the lands between. They're drawn there for some reason. The rot god, the moon, the fucking frenzied flame, the whatever, all of them, the Elden Beast. At different points in history, a history which we are not privy to, we don't know anything about it short of like just fucking like 6 or 7 item descriptions. There was this entire world that existed before the Golden Order and before that stuff. And so we know that there was this serpent deity. We know that that was a thing. We know that happened. We know that the serpent deity is maligned by the Golden Order, and it's looked at as a traitor and as you know, like, but we all kind of assumed, I think, that the serpent betrayed the Golden Order. This looks like the opposite. This looks like Marika betrayed that snake, and that's what this character is telling us Mikola said happened. So it's like third person whatever, but like this person who's narrating this is telling us that Marika betrayed something, and what it betrayed reminds us all of the snake. because you've got the snake corpse piles, and where she reaches in and pulls the golden threads out, it looks like the serpent, where you, the egg sac that you get in the Temple of Egle in Rykard's area. It looks like that. It looks like a big, gross cloaca, and she's pulling golden threads out of it.
An affair from which gold arose. And so too was Shadow born. What followed was a war unseen. One that could never be put to song. A purge without grace or honor. The tyranny of Messmer's flame.
Yeah, I don't think the person narrating this trailer, I think, is the knight that we will see who runs their hand across the ground in front of Miquella's Great Rune. We also hear this voice and see this person in the first trailer as well. And they have a very reverential take on Miquella. He's kind. He was ashamed of what they did. Yada yada. The other characters that we see, now that we have this trailer, I think the voices that we heard in the first trailer, we hear this voice in the first trailer, but we hear other voices as well in the first trailer. And I think that those voices probably belong to these other characters that we're going to see in this trailer. I will explain in a minute. My current theory...
And so kindly Miquella would abandon everything.
My current theory is that the affair that's referred to is between Marika and the snake. Marika and the snake are allied, partnered. And someone else said... You know, we're thinking like, okay, who's Messmer's parents? And someone else said it's possible, like, you know, Messmer's parents could be Marika and the snake deity, and that could also be the case. All right, fuck. There's so much shit. This is all, you know, this is all just us talking. None of this is, it's just all whatever. But I think that there's enough. I think that there's enough stuff that you could connect like the Glomide Queen to the snake at some point.
His golden flesh, his blinding strength, even his fate. But we are not deterred. We choose to follow. Will you walk with us?
So, what I was saying was, in this trailer, I think that this is our narrator in this trailer. I could be wrong, and it doesn't really matter. But just follow my train of thought here, and you'll see where I'm going with this. I think that this is our narrator. It could be any of them. It doesn't matter. but I think that it's this person. But in that first trailer that we got, we hear all these different voices. We hear a voice say, "Oh, it's a cursed place, and blood must spill the blood of your fellow Erdtree faithful." We hear another voice say, "Mikola has the power to shrive clean the hearts of men, and it's absolutely terrifying." And we hear another voice say, "Join us, touch the hand and go there." And that's this voice, right? And again, so it doesn't matter if this is really our narrator or not, but I'm assuming this is our narrator. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. Okay, yeah, you can see it. I'm assuming that this is our narrator, right? But it doesn't matter if it isn't. It's just one of these voices is saying, all this stuff. And then there's another voice, and it says all this other stuff. So they all have kind of like a different take, but they're all like, they have one goal, which is to go after Mikola for whatever reason.